Wakenya wenzangu, nyinyi mliniambia kwamba hampendi ufisadi. Mkasema kwamba hamtaki serikali ya William Ruto kwa sababu ni serikali ya ufisadi. Na hiyo ni ukweli. Na mimi nikakubaliana na nyinyi mkanifadhili. Mkanitumia mafuta kwa M-Pesa, wengine wakatuma shilingi 100, wengine wakatuma shilingi 200 ili niende Vampire Diaries across the whole country, kila county, nikiangalia ile miradi ya serikali ambayo pesa imetumika na ikaibiwa na iko kwa mifuko ya watu. Nyinyi ndio mlinionifadhili nifanye hiyo kazi. Sasa kwa nini mnakasirika? Kwa nini hamfurahii nikikagua miradi ya upinzani? Kwa sababu hawa ambao wako upinzani pia waliwahi kuwa mawaziri na wengine waliwahi kuwa naibu wa rais. Je, mnataka nikague miradi ya serikali peke yake?
Ladies and gentlemen, right now across the country, youths are asking themselves, what is wrong with Morara Kebaso? He had started very well, criticizing the government, preventing the stealing of the Kenyan taxpayers' money. He was actually criticizing and exposing the government. We saw the government move up and down to ensure that they have removed some marks that were showing William Ruto launch a certain project that are stalled. We saw some concern from Kenyan members of parliament. But now Morara Kebaso later on stopped. He stopped. Remember that when he was doing these Vampire Diaries, Kenyans contributed for him and he had a lot of money to do campaigns across. Now, most of the youths in the country believed that now we have a leader who has come up, courageous enough to be able to go forward and challenge the government. Even in 2027, can stand with the youths. He even got arrested. And we all saw the numbers that came out in the courts to stand with the Morara Kebaso. We saw the number of opposition leaders who came up to ensure that they have stood the Morara Kebaso. But now, recently, Morara Kebaso has completely changed. He's not the same man. He's now a complaining person, complaining politician. And instead of attacking the government, maybe criticizing the government to do better for the few years that are remaining, he has now turned his guns to the opposition, just like the government is doing. Then Kenyans have been asking themselves, is Morara Kebaso working with the government or working with the opposition, or who is he working for? And is he supporting William Ruto, or who is this, or is going for presidency himself? Now, these kind of questions that Kenyans keep asking themselves, I want to answer them here and probably pose a challenge to Morara Kebaso. That is going to form the basis of this analysis here today. But before I take you through, ladies and gentlemen, please, if this is the first time you're watching my videos, kindly make sure that you subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support you can always give this channel. Immediately, Matiang'i touched down in the country, Morara Kebaso went to social media to seriously condemn him as a project of Uhuru Kenyatta.
Opposition in this country has lacked a vision. It has nothing else to talk about except Ruto must go. Yes, we can remove the president. Very easy. We just need to turn out in large numbers and vote. But what is the use of removing a president and replacing him with a worse person?
Then now, Kenyans, we started asking ourselves, what is this that Morara has a difference with Matiang'i that is making more pained when Matiang'i stepped in the country? What has made Matiang'i more unique to Morara Kebaso that these other politicians have not been so bad until he had to attack Matiang'i himself as a man? What was really happening? If you can recall, all of you, Morara Kebaso campaigned to President William Ruto seriously. Even came to him to kiss his ear. While others were wearing sufriyas on their heads campaigning against President William Ruto, Morara Kebaso was with William Ruto. And even when the came was given a chance to speak amongst all other youths, Morara Kebaso, when he came to the country, to Kisii town here, people were already protesting against Ruto. Ruto was already being called a thief by Hassan Joho. Ruto was already being called names of things. Ruto was already accused of corruption. He was already accused of Aurora and Kimarel. He was already accused of the Wilson Airport land where Western Hotel is seated. So we didn't know what was good in William Ruto that Morara Kebaso saw. And suddenly, he came out from the protest where nobody saw him. Now he came out from the protest to emerge as the savior. Kenyans accepted and decided to support him. But now suddenly he has turned to Kenyans, against Kenyans who supported him, including the opposition. Because we all know who abducted youths in this country. But the agenda of Morara has shifted from the abduction. Now it is to the previous government. We all know who shot youths in the streets of Nairobi. Morara Kebaso has turned against that. Now he has gone to the opposition. We saw the BBC news being exposed. We did not see Morara Kebaso talk about it at length. We saw people killed. We did not see Morara Kebaso call out the government to arrest the officers who were engaged or involved in the shooting of the youths, innocent youths in this country. But instead, he has targeted Matiang'i, he has targeted Gachagua, he has targeted other leaders and forgot about the government that is now troubling Kenyans. Is now troubling Kenyans. Suddenly, Ruto has become better to Morara than Matiang'i. Even if you go down to the villages and ask people, between Ruto and Matiang'i, who can take this country to greater heights, everyone will tell you it is Matiang'i, because Matiang'i has the ability of delivering services. He might not be the president, but he has the ability, so long as he is in government, to deliver. And that is what is lacking in President William Ruto's team. So if people have subscribed to Matiang'i's side, what is wrong? What is wrong? Now, as we speak today, Morara is now blaming Kenyans for simply accusing him of being a government mole, a government project, Ruto's project. We know how government operates. First, it brands you to be like one of the opponents. Once you become one of the opponents, then you start executing the plan of the government right from within it. So that's exactly what is happening to Morara Kebaso. If you listen to his language very well, he's telling us, you people, you sent me to do this, you sent me to do that. Now when I do it, you're blaming me. That is exactly how government wanted it done. So Morara is accusing us for supporting him, for subscribing him, for doing videos on his support, for doing a lot in the country for him. Actually, people went ahead. There's a channel I know where we usually we literally talked about Morara Kebaso each and every video. Simply, we wanted him to be the strong leader. Later on, stopped doing the Vampire Diaries. He stopped criticizing the government, and he went low-key. He kept quiet. He only reemerges after joining Gachagua, then suddenly came out and started attacking Gachagua. Then we ask ourselves, by the time he was joining Gachagua, didn't he know that Gachagua was involved in corruption cases? Didn't he know that the person he's accusing of being funded by President William Ruto was also being funded by that time? Why did he first join and then come out and start attacking the same people? Why didn't he raise the same questions on the table and tell them, no, Gachagua, return the Kenyans' money that you stole. Matiang'i, return the 16 billion that you have. And Martha Karua, do this. Now he's attacking everybody, branding people to be negative and forgetting that we all have the same cause towards William Ruto. The problem of Kenya right now, it is that leaders get into power and they feel like they are more powerful than Kenyans. To an extent, William Ruto's men are saying, we are going to go for 2 terms because no other president has ever gone for 1 term. And they are saying, kura zizipotosha watajaza. And it is time for us to make leaders know that Kenyans are the supreme. If they decide to vote you out, you go out. And new leadership can come in. To us, as a powerful leader as President William Ruto, as a cruel and brutal one leader like William Ruto. Because if it happens to him, all these others will be able to kuchunga line yao, that if they come into power and they mess up with Kenya, they are going home. They are going home. Now, Morara Kebaso is constantly fighting leaders and forgetting that this is not the government. Those are the opposition. Now, what should be the solution that Morara Kebaso should embark on? Number 1, when he was given powers by Kenyans to be popular in this country, more especially the youth, because let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, on social media here, we did videos and told the government, don't touch Morara Kebaso. There's a guy I know called Swings Maunu. One time said, guza kila mtu lakini musiguze Morara Kebaso. That's what the height of abductions in the country. People did videos to stop the government from abducting Morara Kebaso. But now Morara Kebaso has turned to the same people. Now he's supporting the same government people are against. This is what he was supposed to do. Number 1, be an alternative to the Kenyan population, not to Ruto. Why? He already registered a party. He comes out, brands his party, brings youth together, and builds his party. But instead, he chased all the youths that were around him, including Dr. Kimori, Engineer Kimori, who stood by him when he was in jail. They all left the party simply because he was simply trying to gather. I say it here and every day that Morara Kebaso was simply trying to get some attention, gain popularity, and then work for government. Because literally when he chased them, he did not even care to have a meeting and engage with them and understand where the problem was. Youths came, worked with him, stood by him, but time came and Morara Kebaso abandoned them. They all went, they all left him. So the party that was supposed to be established and be for the youths, it's no longer being popularized. So the youths do not have a platform at all. They do not have a platform. And those people who believed in him as Morara Kebaso, right now, they don't have a platform because Morara Kebaso has turned to support the government and attack the opposition. So as we speak, it doesn't want to be an alternative in any way. But we expect him to be an alternative, brand himself as a leader, bring up his principles, stop just criticizing, and engage in building a team. So that as youths of this country, when it comes to 2027 or end of 2026, as Rigathi Gachagua said, when people are negotiating, it happens that we also have our own team that will be considered because youths are already together. Now, because of Morara Kebaso's behavior, we don't have a youth in the opposition to represent the whole of this country. We don't need them in the opposition, yes. But the fact is that are we even organized outside the existing opposition? We can be our opposition of our own, of which we are, but we needed a leader to come up and speak on our behalf. But as we speak today, nobody talks about the issues probably concerning the youths in the country. Neither the abductions, neither the school fees, neither the unemployment, but instead they have turned against the other people who are trying to become an alternative. If William Ruto is a bad leader, everyone agrees, and Kenyans do not want him, we must have an alternative. And Morara Kebaso, whom we expected to be an alternative, he has turned out to be a Ruto's project. So what is wrong if Kenyans turn to support the other side, the alternative that we have? So instead of criticizing her and every now and then expressing anger within social media, how about Morara Kebaso go ahead and join and maybe create a brand, join other youths, and then come up with an alternative for Kenyans? Number two, let him create his own team. Let him come to Kisii here. If he calls me, I can work with him if he's genuine. We go and have youth from across the country. We popularize our party, our arrangement. Let me tell you here, I even personally tried to reach him. We agreed to meet in Nairobi. And then when I told him, come on board, we meet, we discuss, because there should be by-elections here in Nyamira. And we wanted the Inject party to take root. But he did not want, he does not care about it, he does not engage in anything. So we felt like he is not interested. Until now, he has come out to speak, yet himself is not ready to be an alternative. Another thing that he needs to do is to be transparent. But, you know, when you talk about you having information from government, then that government is the same one giving you the information. When you say someone is given 2 million every week, that is propaganda. Until you tell us these are the transactions, because the control of budgets is a Kisii. Actually, you can go and ask her, that is Margaret Nyakango, tell her to produce details that there is some money that is being channeled through a certain place every week, 2 million. Even the president is not paid 2 million every week. So that is propaganda, first of all. Second one, if you have details of the people who paid Gachagua, why don't you just go to the courts and produce the documents and file a case against Gachagua, instead of telling Kenyans, just spoiling the name without evidence? We can't deny that all these leaders are not angels. They are not. And it is not that we are having a saint to become a president. No. But we aren't someone better than William Ruto. As simple as that. Who can fix at least even if it's one thing in this country. At least one thing. Also, one thing that Morara Kebaso has to do, the second thing that he has to do, is also to consider to be strong enough in this country and try to mobilize the youths around him. So that as the youths, we also develop our own language. But now he's focusing on other generations, on other leaders, instead of focusing on himself, so that other youths can subscribe to him. I don't know what's your take, but let me see on the comment section whether you have the same questions as I have to none other than Morara Kebaso. See you next time for more videos.